Day one of new restrictions, but all calm at airports. There is waiting time for 5 to 6 hours for results. Meanwhile, regular international flights have been deferred. Air bubble international flights to continue. Travel restrictions result in sky-high airfares. International airfares almost double on popular routes. Tough time for students and NRIs. What is UPA? There is no UPA. Mamata Banerjee buries Congress-led alliance as she meets Sharad Pawar. Pawar is more cautious, welcomes all against the BJP. Commercial LPG cylinder prices are up by 100 rupees. Meanwhile, petrol prices in Delhi are down by 8 rupees as the Delhi government cuts the value-added tax. Activist Sudha Bhardwaj in jail since 2018 is granted default bail by the Bombay High Court in the Bhima Koregaon case, but will remain in jail for another week. And major road in the holy town of Tirupati is damaged. Devotees are told to postpone their visit to Tirupati. Hello and welcome to NDTV 24/7. I'm Rohit Wellington. Let's begin with our top story. It was day one of the new restrictions on arrivals from at-risk nations, and it was largely all calm at the airports. There was a waiting time for about 5 to 6 hours for the results of the tests. The government, however, has deferred the resumption of commercial international flights that were scheduled for 15th of December. This in the wake of Omicron scare across the globe.
Omicron-triggered curbs have started, but at India's top international airport, chaos has largely been avoided, but not confusion. Naga Manoj, an engineer from Ireland, an at-risk country, landed in Chennai for an emergency. His baby is in hospital in Coimbatore, but after flying nearly 48 hours with 3 transits, he has got another 6 hours to go for his RT-PCR test result, and he's missed his final connecting flight.
I traveled in really emergency thing. My son is not well and he is in ICU. So I would suggest to consider that, because in my case, I've taken the rapid test in Ireland and I'm fully vaccinated.
Anita, a doctor returning from Netherlands, where there are 16 cases of the Omicron variant, had no clue of what was in store.
The procedure was not that systematic. They said that they received the information just in the morning 12 o'clock regarding this PCR test, and the systems is not that proper, so it took a long time.
None among the 88 passengers from at-risk countries tested positive. Chennai receives around 40 international flights every day. While the situation at the moment is smooth and under control, the real challenge will be from tomorrow morning, when flights from European cities including London and Frankfurt would land.
In case we have to increase the capacity, we have done an analysis about the number of flights coming and total number of passengers at a particular time. That comes around 650. So as and when the passengers number is increasing, we'll go up to 700.
At the Delhi airport, Kunal Thakur, who arrived from London, says he had to wait for 4 hours despite paying for the quicker rapid PCR test.
फ्लाइट कितने बजे लैंड?
7 बजे।
7 बजे।
हाँ।
और निकलते निकलते कितना टाइम?
11 बज रहे हैं सर।
तो मतलब तकरीबन
4 घंटे।
4 घंटे।
With a high number of international flights landing in Delhi every day, authorities say they ramped up testing capacity. Still, the wait time was terribly long. In Mumbai, little signs of chaos thanks to several testing labs at the airport. A dedicated transportation lobby is ready to shift positive passengers for quarantine.
International passengers arriving from at-risk countries will be tested for COVID at the airport, and this, of course, you can see are the several labs that are being set up here. This is, of course, the situation at the Mumbai airport as of now. From the outside, one doesn't really get a feel of what's going on because there are several counters and several labs that are conducting these tests here.
The Omicron scare has shaken international travel, and the hardship to passengers is bound to increase with a list of at-risk countries on the rise. With Saurav Gupta in Mumbai, Akshay Dongre in Delhi, with Suresh in Chennai, Sam Daniel, NDTV.
Now, amid friction with the centre over the guidelines at airports, Maharashtra Minister Aditya Thackeray has said that Maharashtra needs to be more careful than other states regarding the new COVID variant Omicron, as it was hit first and hit the hardest last time. He spoke with NDTV's Vishnu Shom.
There are certain things that we'll have to probably have in a stricter fashion, because if you see last time also we were hit first, we were hit the hardest. And in the sense of, even being accountable and transparent, we were always accountable and transparent and have been. So we need to be a little more cautious about our state, because we have a lot of floating population that comes in and goes out, not just in terms of tourism, but in terms of business, commerce. So we need to protect the interest of the state in terms of everyone who comes here for tourism, or trade, commerce, or for whatever reason.
The new travel restrictions, however, have meant sky-high airfares. Passengers have to shell out extra thousands for tickets, particularly on the popular routes. Akshay Dongre has this report.
Kamran Ahmed works in Riyadh. A frequent flyer, he says airfare has never been so high.
रिटर्न टिकट फ्रॉम रियाद टू दिल्ली 20-25 हज़ार में हो जाता था, लेकिन आज आई हैव टू पे 50,000, डबल, सो नियरली डबल. और दैट टू व्हेन आई बुक्ड 2 हफ्ते पहले. अगर कोई 3-4 दिन पहले इमरजेंसी में आएगा तो वो तो 1 लाख रुपए 1.5 लाख रुपए देगा.
Kuldeep Singh, who returned to Delhi from London, had to pay almost 100% more for his wife's ticket because it was bought 5 days later.
बहुत ज़्यादा बड़े हैं. मेरी अपनी टिकट चेक कर लो, वो 440 पाउंड की ही है. वाइफ की उसी डेट की उसी टाइम की वो है, और 891 की पाउंड की यही है, डबल हो गई है. पर मैंने ऑनलाइन बेटे ने करवा दी, वो पड़ी है हमें 900 पाउंड के तकरीबन.
The Omicron effect on airfare. A Dubai to Delhi ticket now costs 34,000 rupees, up approximately 15,000 rupees in 15 days for a round trip. A New York to Delhi ticket now costs approximately 1.68 lakh rupees, up approximately 75,000 rupees from 80 to 90,000 in 15 days for a round trip. Singapore to Delhi now costs approximately 31,000 compared to 22,000 for a round trip approximately 15 days back. The sudden Omicron restrictions and limited air bubble flights have sent airfares soaring, say those in the industry.
The reality is that the number of flights sort of operating in all these long haul routes as compared to what it used to be in steady state pre-pandemic are a lot lower.
In the absence of intervention by the government, limited flights, Omicron scare and restrictions on air travel has resulted in sky-high airfare prices. And while many people can afford to pay large sums of money to return home, many simply do not have any other option. With camera person Sushil Rathi, I'm Akshay Dongre, NDTV.
Moving on to some political news now, Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee on Wednesday indicated that she is visualizing a fresh opposition lineup for the next general elections. What is UPA? There is no UPA, Ms. Banerjee declared after her meeting with NCP Chief Sharad Pawar in Mumbai. Saurav Gupta reports.
आपको लगता है कि शरद जी को अब यूपीए का नेतृत्व करना चाहिए, चेयरमैन बनाना चाहिए?
क्या यूपीए? अभी यूपीए नहीं है. यूपीए क्या है?
Latest political bombshell from Mamata Banerjee after her meeting with another top opposition leader, Sharad Pawar in Maharashtra, a state, ironically, where the Congress is a partner in power. But as Mamata ramped up her blast the Congress approach, Sharad Pawar, a Congress ally in Maharashtra, took a more cautious line.
देखो सरोज जी क्या बोला, एक ऑल्टरनेटिव स्ट्रॉन्ग होना चाहिए जो लड़ाई करते हैं. अगर कोई लड़ते नहीं है तो हम क्या करें? हम चाहते हैं कि सबको लड़ाई करना है, लेकिन में रह के
intention is in today's situation, national level, right-wing forces has to come together. They have to set up a collective leadership platform, and we have to provide a strong alternative to leadership. Overall thinking is not for today, But for 2024 election, this platform has to be established, and with that intention, we have visited and she had a very positive discussion with all of us. कांग्रेस या किसी को लेना सीधी बात एक है कि those who are against BJP, if they come together, they are very.
The Congress hit back.
कांग्रेस ही उसका एक पर्याय बनता है और इसलिए स्टेट लेवल की जितनी भी पार्टियां हैं जो बीजेपी के साथ विरोध में लड़ती है वो सभी ने कांग्रेस के ही नेतृत्व में यूपीओ में आकर इस बीजेपी जैसे व्यवस्था को खत्म करने के लिए एक साथ आना चाहिए.
Calling an end to the UPA is keeping with Mamata Banerjee's recent stance of going all guns blazing against the Congress, as she appears to be positioning herself as the main national opposition against the BJP. But is it realistic, especially in the context of the general elections? In the 2019 Lok Sabha polls, there were around 190 seats in which it was a straight fight only between the Congress and the BJP, of which the BJP won over 170. It is highly unlikely that Mamata or any other party can replace the Congress in those seats before the 2024 Lok Sabha polls, making the Congress a crucial element in any national opposition to the BJP. In an earlier meeting with civil society and the film industry, Mamata took a less harsh tone.
India is a vast country, and India there are so many multi-political system is also there. So what is going on Maharashtra, why we will be disturbing that system? That we are not. Where there is no possibility, where Congress is not going to compromise. The fight means, compromise means they are not fighting the battles. There BJP is growing. There we will not allow BJP to grow. There we have to work together.
The question everyone wanted to ask came from socialite and author Shobha De.
Who should be the next Prime Minister of India?
As a citizen of this country, you can also do it. You can also do it. You are also very popular. Now the matter is not for Prime Minister. The matter is the great importance whether we are able to save the democracy or not.
Most analysts say that an opposition formation against the BJP without the Congress isn't really going to be effective and in fact will help the BJP. But if this makes the Congress wake up from its slumber and work together with other aggressive opposition parties jointly, then the opposition does have a chance. In Mumbai with camera person Sanjay Mandal, Saurabh Gupta, NDTV.
Looking at some other political news, the BJP made a key acquisition on Wednesday ahead of the Punjab election, but at the cost of its former ally, the Akali Dal. Manjinder Sirsa, an Akali Dal leader close to the Badals, joined the ruling party. Party strategy for the approaching Punjab polls is to tap disgruntled leaders from the Congress and the Akali Dal and shore up its prospects in a state where it has only ever played second fiddle. To UP now, days before the anniversary of the Babri Masjid demolition on Monday, with the crucial state elections starting in just over 2 months, UP Deputy Chief Minister Keshav Prasad Maurya has tweeted what appears to be a call for a temple in Mathura, the western UP town believed to be the birthplace of Lord Krishna. On Wednesday, Mr. Maurya tweeted a grand temple in Ayodhya and Kashi is under construction. Preparations are on for Mathura. And Samajwadi Party Chief Akhilesh Yadav took sharp jibes at the BJP and Chief Minister Adityanath at a rally in southern UP's Banda, part of the impoverished Bundelkhand region, asking if the people wanted a Yogi Sarkar or a Yogya or an able government.
Yogi Sarkar chahiye क्या Yogi Sarkar chahiye? इन्होंने उत्तर प्रदेश को पीछे कर दिया. उत्तर प्रदेश के हालात जो पैदा किए हैं, आज जो नफरत फैलाई है, ये जो बर्बादी हुई है, इतनी लूट कभी नहीं हुई होगी.
The other big story, LPG prices for commercial cylinders were increased by 100 rupees on Wednesday. In the national capital, the 19-kilogram commercial cylinders will now cost 2,101 compared to the previous rate of 2,000 rupees. The prices were last hiked by 266 rupees on the 1st of November. Meanwhile, the Delhi government has reduced the value-added tax or VAT on petrol by about 19% from 30%. Following this reduction, the petrol rates will be cut by 8 rupees per litre in the national capital. The new prices are effective midnight. Meanwhile, fuel prices were kept unchanged for 27 consecutive days. Earlier on the 4th of November, the government had slashed excise duty on petrol and diesel to bring rates slightly down from the record high levels. In some other news, activist Sudha Bhardwaj, in jail since 2018, was on Wednesday granted default bail by the Bombay High Court in the Bhima Koregaon case. Sudha Bhardwaj has been granted bail on technical grounds. That's because the court, which accepted charge sheet against her, wasn't authorized to do so. Sudha Bhardwaj, however, will remain in jail for another week. She will be produced before the special NIA court on the 8th of December, and on that day, bail conditions will be listed and the release finalized. Time for a short break. On the other side, a major road in holy town of Tirupati has been damaged and the devotees been told to postpone their visit. We'll get you details on the other side. Welcome back. Demographic change in Assam and West Bengal was the key reason to extend the jurisdiction of Border Security Force up to 50 kilometers. That's what the BSF chief has said. Now, this move has evoked sharp political reactions. Neeta Sharma has this report.
Officials of the BSF responding to the controversial decision to extend the jurisdiction of the security force from 15 to 50 kilometers in the border states of Assam and West Bengal. Both states abut Bangladesh.
Official states it's not just infiltration but change in demography, implying that the Muslim population along the border area is increasing.
बंगाल में, आसाम में समय समय पर एजिटेशंस और त्रिपुरा में एजिटेशन हुआ केवल इसी चीज को लेके कि इन्फिल्ट्रेशन से जो डेमोग्राफिक चेंजेस इतने ज्यादा आ गए हैं कि लोगों में एक परेशानी का कारण हुआ और इसी कारण से केंद्रीय सरकार ने शायद ये समझा कि यदि हम 15 से 50 किलोमीटर कर दें तो बीएसएफ शायद स्थानीय राज्य पुलिस को और सशक्त कर दे और मजबूत कर दे और उनकी मदद करेगी ऐसे इन्फिल्ट्रेटर्स को पकड़ने के लिए.
This disclosure by a top BSF official has given new life to a political controversy. Two opposition-run states where the BSF's jurisdiction was enhanced, Punjab and West Bengal, claimed this was done to extend the centre's jurisdiction in non-BJP states. West Bengal's ruling party claims the Modi government is getting flustered due to the election results.
BSF का पूरा अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनली, इलीगली, अनएथिकली वो जगह भरा रहे. हम कभी वो मानेंगे नहीं. हमारे बंगाल की असेंबली में भी इसका खिलाफ पास हुआ बिल कि वो मानेंगे नहीं हमारे गवर्नमेंट.
The state BJP, however, backed the move.
बंगाल में जो कानून व्यवस्था पुलिस के द्वारा संभाला नहीं जा रहा है, इसीलिए ये जो टेररिज्म हो रही है बंगाल में, पूरा देश आज शांत है, लेकिन बंगाल में जिला जिला बम ब्लास्ट हो रही है, हथियार मिल रही है, बांग्लादेश से रोहिंग्या घुसपैठिया आ रहे हैं. इसको रोकने के लिए दूसरा कोई रास्ता नहीं है, इसलिए एकमात्र बीएसएफ इसको संभाल सकती है और बीएसएफ का काम इतना ही है, कोई बाहर से आता है उसको पकड़ कर पुलिस को देना है और इससे घबराने की कोई बात नहीं है.
The basis of the BSF's claim of changing demographics remains unclear. The recently concluded NRC exercise in Assam meant to filter out illegal migrants found the largest concentration of those excluded from the list in interior districts.
Even though the government is trying to assure the opposition that the enhancement of jurisdiction of Border Security Force was done to assist local police, but the statement of DG BSF has opened Pandora's box. And in coming days, government might have lot to answer. In New Delhi, with camera person Pooja Arya, this is Neeta Sharma reporting for NDTV.
And finally, torrential November rain in the temple town of Tirupati has meant a major road there has been damaged and the devotees have been told to postpone their visit to Tirupati.
Early on Wednesday, passengers on a State Road Transport Corporation bus going on the Up-Ghat road from Tirupati to Tirumala had a lucky escape as boulders from atop the hill came crashing down, the road cracked and the railing flew off the boundary of the road. Road repair works are likely to take up to 3 days. Devotees have been advised to postpone their visit with the promise of a free darshan anytime in the next 6 months. The TTD has said Tirumala and Tirupati has seen a 30-year high in rains. Experts have been called in from IIT Delhi to advise on how best to keep safe pilgrims to the most visited place of worship in the world. With inputs from Tirupati, Uma Sudhir, NDTV.
And that's a wrap on this bulletin from the entire team. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.